And we're live. What's going on, you beautiful human beings out there in the Horny Gnome land? I am the Horny Gnome. This is the Horny Gnome Bar, and we are the Horny Gnome Booze Cruise Podcast, episode 16, coming at you live in living color. Wearing my other podcast t-shirt. I did this strategically. It's called Plugging Your Other Stuff. I just wanted to say what's up. How's everybody doing tonight? It is a beautiful, not freaking hot, beautiful day here in the wonderful state of Nebraska. It was so hot this weekend, and today was not bad, and I lived for it for sure. I did some kind of cool stuff this weekend. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and then we'll get into some beers. So I had the pleasure, nay the privilege, to be able to take in a Rob Zombie concert this weekend. So I went to River Riot, which is in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and I got to see Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Power Man 5000, Static X, and Through Fire, and The Tale Untold. It was a blistering over 100-degree day. There is no shade at that huge West Fair amphitheater. It's kind of set up. There's a big man-made amphitheater backdrop, right, with all the stage rigging and all that stuff. And then there's about a football field or so size piece of concrete in front of it, maybe not, maybe actually half. And then there's like the stage set up, like sound guys and stuff like that. And then a couple of towers for like the spotlights. Well, then around that is this big giant grass bowl. And so you come in on top, and there was like 4 or 5 food trucks, and there was some t-shirt vendors and stuff like that up there. And like the bathroom corral, like, 50 porta potties or whatever. And then you go down the hill and into the bowl, and then you just sit essentially like on the sides of the bowl and stuff like that. And it was pretty awesome, honestly. It was hot and crappy, and that part of it sucked. But other than that, the music was outstanding. It took me right back to like 2002, just like sitting in my room wearing my Jinkos and my barbell necklaces, and just rocking out. That's what it reminded me of. It took me right back there, and I loved every minute of it. I was super stoked to be able to get the tickets. The tickets weren't that bad. They were like $50 a piece. And I was able to hang out with one of my best friends and his wife, and then just kind of, go to town. We camped out, and then we went to the concert one day and then came back and camped the next day, hung out. We went to some nice restaurants, stuff like that too, while we were up in that area. So we just had a really good time. It was nice to have a couple of days away from work and all the day-to-day craziness that goes along with it. So let's get into this first beer, and we'll start talking about yeah, there we go. Koofy's hopping in here. He remembers. That's right, man. Listening to some heavy stuff over the weekend. It was good times, man. It brought me right back to high school for sure. Let's see what we're gonna start with. We're gonna start with one I went a little different with. So this beer is called Fantastic Haze Imperial IPA. So this is from Sierra Nevada. This is a 9% Imperial IPA. Let's get into it. So the first thing I thought of when this said Fantastic Haze was I thought of one song. And this takes me back to I really like this color though. It has this nice light straw color, decent amount of little particulate in there. You guys can see that over on the TikToks. Really, really good color. 2-finger tall white head. Really strong citrus. Like, okay. This is actually this smells really good. Ooh, that's fantastic. Ha ha! Fantastic haze. There we go. That was actually really good. So the song that I picked to associate with Fantastic Haze is Fantastic Voyage by your man Coolio, circa 1994, March of 1994. The album It Takes a Thief released, and it was later on Fantastic Voyage, The Greatest Hits also. This song was a sample of the 1981 Fantastic Voyage by Lakeside. Fantastic song. It came out 2 days before my birthday in 1994. I still remember hearing the song for the first time because I thought it was like real catchy, and then there was like the rap that went along with it. I thought it was great. I thought it was all one song. I'd never heard the original Fantastic Voyage until much, much later in my life. So, Fantastic Haze, Fantastic Voyage. That's where I went with that one. I thought it was pretty funny. Coolio was one of those things in the 90s, right? Just the top of the top. That album went platinum. Gangster's Paradise went platinum. Just had this really, really epic had like an epic 90s with everything, made great money. And then I don't know what happened. He just kind of fell off the earth. He's been on a couple things since then with like 2 little things up on top, and I feel bad for the guy cuz he really did have a short career. He's not up there with like Snoop and all those guys that have really stood the test of time. Like he had a 90 to 90, career. I don't remember when Gangster's Paradise came out, but I want to say like 98. I want to say, and I mean he just didn't have a whole lot. But I still enjoy listening to his songs. I still listen to Gangster's Paradise every once in a while. I still listen to Fantastic Voyage. It reminds me of every time I hear it, all I think of is like Coolio riding on one of those um, old school like lowrider bikes with like the twisted chrome rims and the twisted chrome frame and everything, just like slow rolling back and forth through the street. And this beer takes me right there too. To be honest, I really, really, except for that little friend that wanted to hang out there, had a little fly hop in there. You know what I'm still gonna do? Drink that shit, because that's what we do on this show. So Sierra Nevada is one of these breweries that, depending on what part of the country you live in, people really love Sierra Nevada or really hate Sierra Nevada. I think that Sierra Nevada is like so. I've had some decent beers from them, and I've had some that I could really like go without. This is actually really not bad, but it takes an imperial to get there because some of their regular like different lighter beers and stuff like that I wasn't a big fan of. Yeah, can you make any more noise while I'm doing a podcast? My beautiful fiance is out here rummaging through the freezer. Hi, how are you? Bye. Ugh, it's a problem with having the freezer out in the bar, guys. But It's okay. This Fantastic Haze Imperial IPA is not bad. I don't think it's at the top of my list by any means, but it's drinkable. I would definitely have it again and continue to drink it. Um, but it's actually really good. I don't mind it. This is let's see, in my 1 to 10 scale, this is probably a 7. Um, I've got I've got a different kind of scale, and I've explained this in previous episodes. So um my scale is actually 0 to 10, but anything below about a 5 is as a pour out for me. Now, there's different degrees of pour outs. There's like a 1 drink pour out, there's like a 3 drink pour out. That's what's less than 5. 7 is right in the middle. Like I could take it or I could leave it, whatever. Anything above a 7 is like great, good going, you know? So this is at a 7. I mean, I could take it or I could leave it. If somebody had it, I'd definitely drink it. It wouldn't be something I would like jump out and go buy, but it's not bad at all. I actually really enjoy it. It's just, like I said, wouldn't be my first pick. So you sell beer? I do not sell beer actually. So I have a pretty legitimate bar set up in my garage, so that you can kind of see like empties and my gnomes and stuff like that behind me. But I have like a bar top over there and full bar and a beer fridge and a whole back bar area and tons of bottles. And so I have like a fairly legit fairly legit bar in my house. So yeah, and my phone's just gonna keep ringing off, I guess, apparently. But yeah, so that's what I got with this one. Fantastic Voyage by Coolio is what I got to match up with this Fantastic Haze IPA. And I would love to play the song for you, but if I play the song for you, I'm gonna get kicked from YouTube and I'm gonna get kicked from other stuff. So I'm just not gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it safe and not play any music. You know the song. So just listen to the robust mix in your head of this beautiful song. Uh, as I enjoy the robust citrus flavors of this fantastic beer. It actually has this, for being a hazy, like New England style, this definitely has a nice piney dankness to the back end of it that really bodes itself well with the citrus, to where the citrus isn't too sweet, the citrus isn't too citrusy, and the dank is not too dank. And, so it plays not necessarily like a regular American IPA, but it plays like a, what I would consider like a New England that has a nice dank back end. Usually you get sweet in New England and you don't have a whole lot of dank. This has a nice little mix of both. I don't mind it one bit. So down the hatch. So going into the next one. We can go into the next beer. We can wait a couple minutes. What do we got going on? So I talked about the concert, epic concert. I was super excited to spend some time with some really good friends that have kind of. Let me talk about this for a second. Let me talk about this. So through work, believe it or not, which is one of those weird things where obviously we develop friends through work, but this is one of those things where I developed a friendship while I was down doing like a work thing. I don't know. It was like a golf tournament, charity golf tournament thing for work, right? And so we met during that, hung out. We went to the hotel. We hung out at the hotel. We went to the casino, hung out at the casino. And we just started being friends. It just was kind of a weird natural fit. Started being friends, nothing big, right? Then it turned into calling a bitch about each other's day. Hey, I'm bitching about my day. This is what's going on, and he'd bitch about mine. It was nice because we could both kind of understand what was going on with each other. We could understand how each other was feeling about it and that kind of thing, and we could relate, right? Well, then the deeper and deeper we talked more and became friends and stuff like that, come to find out, we're like the same damn person. We both have birthdays in March. Our our fiance, his wife, my fiance, are both have birthdays on the same month and are the same zodiac sign. It's just weird. We're both kind of nerds about comic books and stuff. We're both, it was just a weird thing. And like the more and more like we're around each other, the more and more we're like alike. And so it's super funny because we just irritated the piss out of my fiance and his wife all weekend long because we're just like two peas in a pod. It's super funny. And especially if we get around each other, we're like saying the same shit back and forth. It's really funny. But obviously it's one of those things. It turned into a great friendship. He came up 3 hours for him, almost 4 hours for him. We came 3 hours to go over there. And it's definitely like the first of many. We're gonna do this whole thing quite a bit. So if you're new and you're just coming in over on TikTok or over here on any of my other socials, welcome to the shit show. But that being said, we're on to beer number 2. So, like I said earlier, we are going to be doing something a little bit different this episode. So, I am picking out beers, and then I'm picking out songs or albums that I associate with those. This next one's kind of a brain dead one, just because it's named after the album, named after the band. So, I really didn't have to do a whole lot of picking, but we'll talk about it still. So, this next beer, is Deftones White Pony. So, are there any Deftone fans? If you're a Deftone fan, like, say what's up. Deftones put out this fantastic album called White Pony in June of 2000, June 20th, 2000. It had a bunch of high-rated singles, Changes in the House of Flies, Back to School, and Digital Bath were all part of that. It went platinum. It was their first platinum album. I'm a big Deftones fan. I've liked Deftones for a long time. It really is kind of in my realm. I was a big nu metal guy. Obviously, we kind of talked about that already. And so Deftones really fit in that nu metal genre really, really well. And so I've been a Deftones fan for a very long time. I've seen Deftones, a bunch of times at Warped Tour and stuff like that. So back in the day when I did the Warped Tour thing, the funniest thing, the funniest thing that I really had to point out is the fact that like I remember going to 3-day festivals at like Bonner Springs in Missouri for Warped Tour a lot of years ago. I'm going to show my age, obviously, but a lot of years ago, right? Like when Blink 182 and stuff like that, and Sum 41, Deftones, things like that were on Warped Tour. This has been years ago, right? And in the early 2000s is what we'll say. And I remember going to 3-day festivals and not bitching about the heat, having a great time, getting sunburn afterwards, all that stuff. My old ass sat out there for one damn day for this River Riot Festival. And I was fucking miserable. Like physically I was, it is what it is. Like, right? So I can handle whatever. But man, if it wasn't one thing, it was another, right? It was the heat first. The heat was ridiculous. It was over 100 degrees. It was hotter in the merch tents. It was hot all the time. They were supposed to have like a misting tent village or whatever. None of the misters worked. They were just like dribbling water out. It was hot anyhow. I think I pissed twice and I about died of heat stroke both times because it was just so fucking hot in a porta pisser or in the bathrooms, either one. It was so hot. Well, then you're just outside all day. There's no shade. You're just sitting outside. Once you finally like sat down in a spot, then it wasn't too bad. Like the heat wasn't, it was hot. Don't get me wrong. It was hot. But like it got to be where, number one, it was like what was it? $6 beers? $6 beers. $6 domestic beers. We were drinking ultras. The reason we were drinking ultras is because they're light, crisp, and refreshing. I could not drink like full flavored Budweiser is one of my things, right? I really enjoy a full flavored Budweiser. There is no way in that heat I couldn't hang. I couldn't hang with it. I drank ultras all day long. And there was people drinking Limeritas and seltzers and shit. I can't do that. But I'll drink an ultra. I'll drink an ultra all day long. I think it's not a bad beer, tasting beer. For a light beer, right? For a light domestic beer. Ultras aren't bad. So we were drinking ultras. It got to a point where I couldn't even drink beer anymore because beer just felt gross in my stomach. Like I had to just drink water. It was that hot out. But then you get to like sitting and you're just sitting on blankets because you can't bring chairs in or you can't bring umbrellas in. You can't bring any of that crap in. And so we were just sitting on a blanket and man, if my ass just didn't get to where like it just hurt just sitting, just my fat fucking ass just got to where it just fucking hurt. So I'd have to like sit on one ass cheek and whatever. And I'm like, man, this is the bitch. Like getting old is something that they never tell you about. And maybe they do, but they lie about it a little bit or whatever because it's fucking ridiculous. This getting old shit. I mean, if anything goes to like prove it or whatever, is the fact that like I used to hang at 3-day concerts all day long out in the sun with no shirt on, bouncing off people in the fucking pit, stuff like that all day long. No problems. One festival, one day where I'm just sitting, takes it out of me. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sick of getting old. I'm so sick of it. Josh, what's up, man? How are you? I'm good, buddy. Yeah, so next beer. The next beer we're talking about here is Deftones White Pony Double Dry Hopped IPA. This is from Belching Beaver Brewery. Somehow, some way, Belching Beaver is milking that Deftones dick. I don't know what it is, or if they got like if they're buds. I don't know. I don't know how they got this exclusive deal, but they've got all kinds of it. They got Phantom Bride. They have this. They have like 3 or 4 others that are all Deftones. They have a Mexican lager that's a Deftones one too. They have like 4 or 5 beers that are Deftones exclusive beers, which I think is super rad. Don't get me wrong. I'm super jealous. But they went super simple on the can art, right? Deftones logo, white pony on there. So White Pony, just so you guys know, is a reference to cocaine. Sweet cocaine. What's that? Theo Vaughn had that video. He's like, you know what my favorite type of marijuana is? Cocaine. And anyhow, so White Pony is a reference to cocaine. It's also a reference to like a sexual act. Like, so apparently if you have a dream and there's like a white pony in your dream, it's supposed to mean like it's like a sexual dream of some kind. I don't know. I'm just reading. That's what it says. So, but White Pony again came out in 2000. It's Deftones. I love Deftones. Great album. Their first platinum album, one of the best selling. It's a great, fantastic album. I'm not going to play any music from it because I can't, but go check it out. Deftones White Pony. Now let's get into this IPA, double dry hopped IPA. Here we go. I'm not really smelling a ton of citrus, and I was really expecting citrus. Is it a double dry hopped Westie? Really? Ooh, yes, it is. Let's go. Man, I love West Coast IPAs. If you don't like West Coast IPAs, get the fuck out of here. Man, I love West Coast IPAs. So I will say this, and I don't mean to exclude anybody or anything like that. Realistically, you have to develop a taste for IPAs. It just happens. You just have to develop a taste. It takes a long time, and you have to just keep trying it and keep trying it and keep trying it. but eventually it gets there. Eventually you start enjoying that taste, and you start picking out the different nuances of the different hops and that kind of thing. And then you develop a taste for it, just like anything else, right? People that like whiskey didn't just start liking whiskey, they started with, like lesser whiskeys. They started with, like, God forbid, Jack Daniels. They started with Jim Beam, which Jim Beam, don't get me wrong, is not a bad bourbon. But they started with these low ABV, low considering, 35% or whatever ABV whiskeys, and then they just kind of like slowly worked their way up. You have to do that with IPAs too. If you are really questioning what IPAs you like or don't like or whatever, really the way to start is New England style IPAs. New England style IPAs tend to be more citrusy, they tend to be more fruit forward, and they tend to be smoother, right? They tend to not have that bitterness that really turns a lot of people off from IPAs. So that's where you start. You start in like a New England, or you start with like something. It's like an exceptional fruity version, right? And then you go from there. However, if you already like that like piney dankness, then you slowly start working your way up on like regular West Coast IPAs. You don't go crazy, you don't go double dry hopped, you don't go, you just go regular IPAs. You just try like an American standard IPA. An American standard IPA is definitionally, it is what is in between a New England style IPA and a West Coast IPA. So it's got a little bit of citrus and a little bit of dank. And then so you can kind of start there and you go, okay, I like this, and then you go right into West Coast IPAs. Now, West Coast IPAs, I like. I like that dank, piney, whatever. I'm a big green fan. If, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Hold on. Is this it? Nope. Hold on. Nope. There it is. It's a green button even. Look at that. Look at that. Anyhow, I like that earthy, green, piney dankness. That is something that I enjoy in beer now, and I never did before. I didn't like that bitter. I didn't like that like grapefruit resonance that's barely there, stuff like that. I didn't like that for a long time. Like when I first got into craft beer, I was like a stout and porter guy only. Stout and porters, period. I mean, a Kolsch here and there, something like that, but I was a stout and porter guy. Well, as you develop your taste in craft beer and stuff like that, you find out that like stouts and porters are just made to like cover up crap in the water. So you can make like a company will make a good stout or make a good porter and make shit beer beyond that, because that's exactly what stouts and porters do, is they cover up crap in your water and make it to where like you're okay, you're all right. But that being said, we're talking about IPAs. West Coast IPAs are piney and they're dank. And the more piney and dank they are, the more I love them. Is that Josh that's saying that? I can't tell what the name is. Is that Chris, maybe? I'm not sure. It says, I've never been an IPA fan, but I really like the Ghost in the Machine. Ghost in the Machine from who? What brewery made Ghost in the Machine? I have another buddy that's not a big IPA fan, but he tried one of the Deadhead series from Distill. They make like a whole Deadhead series. It's like Tour Bus and Soundcheck and all like music themed names. And those are all really, really good too. Most of those are New England style IPAs as well. Zoo, what's up? Are you actually in here, Zoo? Oh, no, he was. I think he left. Anyhow, let's keep going on this. This Deftones IPA is phenomenal. I love this one. So, here's the thing about this one. It kind of gets me, right? So, it is a double dry hopped West Coast style IPA. However, it is not overly dank. It is not overly bitter. it's almost if you took and double dry hopped an regular standard American IPA. If you took and did that to a standard American IPA, like double dry hopped an American standard IPA, it's actually pretty good. Sorry, I've got work blowing me up at the same time. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to double ditch it. Siri says, "I can smell your fart." I doubt it. You know why? Because I can't smell it. I have incense burning. If you smell it, it's probably because the dogs were out here for a week. Because this was their kennel for a week, and they got let out 3 times a day by our neighbors. So that's probably what you're smelling. Hater. Anyhow, this is actually really good. Nice West Coast style IPA. Nothing too crazy, nothing over exuberant, nothing out of the realm. Nothing out of the realm as far as IPAs are concerned. This is really, really decent and not bad for double dry hopped. Everybody say bye to Tasha and the dogs.
Ozzy, get your ass out.
Go, Ozzy. Go. Wherever she goes, the dogs just follow her. Sari's hopping in here. Sari, are you at home then and not in Grand Island? I take it. Sari is the beautiful, super understanding, super rad wife of my co-host on Unlikely Role Models podcast. And they have a daughter that is in the hospital right now. So obviously prayers and thoughts go out to them. She's been kind of miserable for about 2 weeks on and off. And so they finally got some answers and they finally got a specialist, and she's getting the treatment that she needs. So I'm very, very excited about that. So any hooser. Let's see what else is going on. Work has been absolutely dog shit. I tell you what, this new position has made me never want to take time off again. Not because I love my job so much. Excuse me. It's because when I take 2 damn days off and I come back, it's like a whole fucking different company. It has been ridiculous. Of course, I have hiccups. So let me talk about this real quick. Hey, Mr. Cricket. There's literally a cricket, like, right beside me. Can you guys see this on camera, I bet? He's right here. Do you see him? Maybe not. Let me move this. There he is. Hey, little cricket guy. What's up, buddy? Legit, this fucking cricket isn't. He just smelled me and he's just wandering off. Later, dude. You want a little beer? Here, does this help you? You want a little beer? No? Okay. Hey, I tried, guys. I tried to liquor up the cricket. He wasn't having it. So okay, I'm sorry. Thanks for being on that little adventure with me. I'm not gonna kill it. It's out here in the garage. I could give a shit less. I really don't care about this cricket. He's just trying to live his little cricket life, right? You just let him do his thing. As long as he's not bugging me while I'm trying to sleep, I'm not worried about him. He can be out here. Should I call him? I'm going to call him Jiminy. You know why? Because that's the only fucking appropriate name for a fucking cricket is Jiminy. You don't call your cricket Jiminy, you don't know what the hell's going on. And he's off. He's off on his little adventure. That was a 16 ouncer, so it's taken me a little bit longer to get through it. But we're going to get there, guys. What else do we want to talk about? I did pick up some new beers while I was out on my little band adventure and went to we got to go to Wine Beer and Spirits in Lincoln, Nebraska. So this is what I love about Wine Beer and Spirits. So Wine Beer and Spirits has 3 locations. They have a Omaha, Nebraska location, they have a Lincoln, Nebraska location, and a Grand Island, Nebraska location. Now, the Grand Island location is the biggest square footage wise. So it used to be a Gordman's, or sorry, their building used to be a Gordman's, and they fill that whole damn thing up. It is huge. Well, then there's 2 other ones. One's in Lincoln and one's in Omaha. Here's the kicker. They are in what used to be Toys R Us buildings. So they still have the entrance and the exit signs from Toys R Us in the Toys R Us font. Font. Did I say font? I meant font. And then they have like a picture of like a giraffe holding like a wine glass. Just like they just knocked it out of the park on that. So you walk in and they're just huge. You can go over to my TikTok. You can check out videos. I have plenty of videos on how that looks, how big it is. I have a video of the Lincoln one and I have a video of the Grand Island one. I do not have one of the Omaha one, but I've been there a couple of different times. They're huge. They're just massive, massive liquor stores. I'm talking like thousands of square feet of like just huge liquor stores. And then they have bars inside, like legit full bars you can go up. So I tried when I was up in Lincoln, I went and tried a beer on tap, and it was from oh damn it, Two Brothers maybe. Now it's pissing me off. It was a pickle beer. So I want to say it was from Two Brothers or Two something. And it was a pickle beer and it had like a Pickle Rick tap handle. That's why I definitely wanted to know what it was. So I tried it. I did not know it was a pickle beer. I did no research. I did not look on like anything. I saw Pickle Rick and I was like, if you got Pickle Rick for a tap handle, I want to try that out. Little did I know it was a pickle beer. It was not terrible. It wasn't finishable, but it wasn't terrible. Like the pickle flavor was good, the lager flavor was good. It was not terrible at all. But you could only drink about 3/4 of a draft beer of it. And I just was done. I was done with it. I have pickle beers in that fridge right now from DCR. I don't remember what the name of the full company is, but it's DCR is their abbreviation. And I have I think I still have 2 tall boys left of this pickle beer. And I just can't do it. I can get about even with the help of somebody else, I can get about a quarter of a way down, maybe half. I just can't do these pickle beers. It's just too much. I can't do it. So I tried that. It wasn't very good. But then they did my buddy and his wife did a couple of cocktails. One of them was it's called a painkiller. It was like a black rum, and like 3 or 4 different little things. It was not bad. It was super sweet though. So it was a girly drink, right? Like so. Okay, so I managed a bar for a long time. Anything that's like super sweet like that, super fruity like that, definitely it's girly all the time. You know why? Why I call it a girly drink? Because the first thing them girls say when they come into the bar, give me something fruity. I just want something fruity. And then da, da, da. Ugh. It's always something fruity. It's always just give me something fruity, blah blah blah. They don't care. They want something fruity. This was fruity. It was good. It was actually really delicious. Had a great flavor to it. It just was overly, overly sweet and overly fruity. It just was a lot. And then the other one had like a modified Tom Collins kind of thing. It was actually really decent. So that being said, I finished my 3/4 of a beer, polished off the rest, threw the cup in the trash, and I was done. I was over it. And I'm gonna finish this off real quick. Okay. Ooh, some of that was trying to work its way out. So I have here's a fun little tidbit about me that you don't need to know. I have a weird thing in my throat where my little flap in my esophagus doesn't like to flap. It's drunk from YouTube. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, buddy. So let me explain what all this is. These buckets come with about 20 shooters in it of Fireball. Me, do not drink Fireball. My fiance drinks nothing but Fireball. So what you can only see a little bit of in the picture, these are all Fireball shooters. There's about 300 on this shelf alone. Then the shelf above that has about, I'm going to say 40 combination of 175s and 750s. And then this shelf down here has about 20 or 25 750s. So every bottle or can of Fireball that she's ever drank, or can, I don't want to say can, every Fireball. Yeah, it was so here. So there's these party buckets. These party buckets hold 20 in it. But I got something else you might not have seen, right? So here's the craziest one in my opinion. My parents got this for Christmas, I think. So this is a Fireball keg. So this is, look at this. It has 3 taps on it, and it can hold 5 liters of Fireball. Has like a handle on the bottom. Has a handle on the bottom, and it can hold 5 liters of Fireball. So she just keeps it all as like little keepsakes. Whatever. I'm gonna make some lights out of these Fireball things. But yeah, no, she's a big Fireball. I don't drink Fireball at all. I'm a bourbon and a beer guy. I don't drink Fireball. Yeah, the Fireball cake's crazy. So here's the craziest part. So we live we live in a town of like that doesn't have a lot of people in it. However, my parents live in a town of about 65,000. So my parents, my mom works at a Hy-Vee. Just throwing that out there. It's not a big deal. But they only got 2. They're the only Hy-Vee in town, and they only got 2. And so the entire town, actually, all of the other places didn't get any. So the entire town, 65,000 people got 2. One of them sitting right here. And that's probably the closest one within 2 hours. We got one. I don't know where the other one went. But so yeah, it's kind of like a weird thing because like they announced that they were gonna do it or whatever, and like we really thought that they were just gonna have a bunch of these damn things rolling around. Nope. But for Christmas, my parents know that she loves Fireball, thought it was funny, so they got her a Fireball keg. I don't drink Fireball. Out of the fucking, I don't know, few hundred gallons of Fireball that's probably up on the shelf and up over here and everything, I probably have had 2 shots at that. I don't do Fireball. I'll drink 120 proof bourbon all day long. I will drink 30 or 40 fucking light beers all day long. I'll drink 10, 12 craft beers a night, whatever. I will not drink Fireball. I don't do it. I just no. So and that's the thing. Like Fireball's not my thing either. Like, but it's definitely hers. She no qualms about it. We'll go out, and she'll just drink Fireball, Diet Dr Pepper. So she drinks. It's the craziest thing. And I've never met anybody that likes Fireball as much as her either, but she loves it. I've bought her Fireball shirts. She has Fireball shot glasses. She has this Fireball keg, which almost nobody has. She has, what else do we have? We have leather wrapped Fireball stainless steel shot glasses. We have Fireball koozies, like beer koozies, which is probably kind of a rare thing too, honestly. We have a bunch of Fireball stuff. And I don't drink a drop of it. I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big Fireball guy at all. You're a vodka guy? I drink vodka. Not a lot though. No. Hey. Honestly, uh, drunk is all that shows up as your name. No, this is exactly what my podcast is about, man. I'm all about you jumping in and saying what's up and like talking about whatever I'm talking about, man. So you're not interrupting anything. I appreciate you hopping in here and asking questions and whatever. So, some days, some podcasts where I have like 30 or 40 people in here and I'm answering questions the whole time, and then other times I'm asking like or answering like one dude's questions. So it just depends. So no, I appreciate you hopping in here. Now for the piece de resistance. So we talked about the Deftones White Pony beer that I tried. We talked about Fantastic Haze, which I paired up with Fantastic Voyage by Coolio. The last song and the last beer that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about this beer right here. So this is Slushy XL Brains Double Fruit Smoothie Sour. So there's the close up there. There's the close up there. This is from Drecker. Drecker is out of Fargo, North Dakota. It is a collab with 450 North Brewing Company. I'm not sure where they're out of. This is a 6%, and it is blueberry, kiwi, guava, banana, sea salt, vanilla beans, and lactose. This is just a little over 6%, and we're going to pour this out. You guys are going to see what this is all about. So I'm going to pour it kind of heavy because it doesn't really foam. It foams a little bit, but nothing crazy, right? We got about like a 1 finger tall head there. Trying to get all that last little bit out of it. Okay. So, what song? You don't like beer at all, but this honestly, if you don't like beer at all, this is actually pretty dope. So, if you aren't in these smoothie sours, pretty much taste like a smoothie with just a little bit of a beer. Okay. With a little bit of a beer back in on it, nothing crazy. So I'm gonna drink a little bit of this. We're gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna tell you what beer I associated with this one. All right, here we go. Ooh, she's thick. She's super. This stuff pours out like motor oil almost. So that blueberry is really prevalent. I taste a lot of the blueberry and banana together. You don't taste a lot of that kiwi or guava much, but you catch a lot of that blueberry and a lot of that banana together. So, okay, tilt the glass when you pour only the pros. No. Okay, so let me tell you what, drunk. I've been pouring craft beer for a minute. If you tilt that glass and you pour it out, it's not necessarily how you do it. You have to break it up a little bit. So now on a smoothie sour, that's a completely different thing. But like on an IPA or something like that, you do want to pour it a little heavier because you want it to like rustle up and you want that foam and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I do what I do. I've been doing it for a minute. I've been doing this craft beer shit for a few years in the craft beer world and stuff like that. And I've been on TikTok for a long time in this craft beer realm and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, you pour it a little heavier. You don't want to turn it. You don't want to tilt that glass. You don't want to do that necessarily because the less head you have, the more of it is just trapped inside of all that. So you don't want to necessarily do that. So anyhow, it's thick. It's thick. It's not necessarily like smoothie thick, but it's thick. It's definitely thick. So look at that. Like you can tell it's still on the sides of it. Like it's actually really good though. It tastes good. Oh yeah, no. So if you tilt it slightly, right? So we're gonna say that this is it right here. You tilt it like this and you pour in, then the only thing is you're taking any kind of disturbance out of it, right? So the problem with that is it traps all of that carbonation inside the beer. So where does that carbonation release at? It releases in your stomach. So that's why you feel bloated and stuff like that after you drink certain beer, especially if you pour it like that. So the best style of pour, and a smoothie sour is a completely different animal on this whole thing. But the perfect style of pour is you actually pour it slightly tilted like this, but you pour it down in the bottom. So you pour it to where it rustles up that carbonation. You want that carbonation to express itself before you start drinking it. You want that because of the aroma necessary, like right? The aroma will open up and you can smell that beer better, right? And then the other thing is, then that carbonation is opening up out here. It's out here in your glass. It's opening up, not inside your stomach. So then you're not bloated and stuff like that. So that's why that is. But yeah, so this is actually exceptional. So, excuse me again. Slushy Sour Brains. What song did I pick to go with this? Well, nothing else but Living Dead Girl by Rob Zombie. So there was a lot of things. I thought about Thriller and stuff like that. I thought about a bunch of different zombie songs, right? But I decided to go with Living Dead Girl because I just seen Rob Zombie obviously on Saturday. So Living Dead Girl was the second single off of Rob Zombie's solo debut album, Hillbilly Deluxe. He was obviously previously a member of White Zombie, and then he went solo. This was his first album, and Living Dead Girl was released in February 16th, 1999 on the Hillbilly Deluxe album. In the music video and on the cover art for that, the female that is dressed in a skull bikini, string bikini, I will say, is none other than Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. Um, and she's on the music video and everything else. That's the chick that's on there. So, he had three big singles off of that album. He had Dragula, Living Dead Girl, and Super Beast. All came off of that album. It's a great song. Super awesome concert. He came out and he had like 4 or 5 different screens. He came out with a big zombie head kind of thing. Just came out ripping and roaring. It was awesome. He came out to Super Beast. Actually, Super Beast was the first. No. Second song he did. The first song I don't remember off the top of my head. It was one of those newer ones. It was great. It was great. What we watched of it, was really, really great. He did a great job for being as old as he is. I mean, he's in his 50s. Did a great job. I was more than surprised at how well he was getting around the stage. He was just, I mean, it was phenomenal. He came out in like silver reflective kind of, maybe it wasn't silver, but it was reflective like bell bottoms and like a full leather jacket with like all kinds of fringe and like 100-degree day. I had nothing but respect for that dude. That shit was hot as fuck, and he came out and just beat the piss out of that crowd. He did awesome. It was fantastic. So that's what I came up with for the brains. So just a little recap. We're gonna go Fantastic Haze IPA. I went 7 on from Sierra Nevada. It was an Imperial IPA. I went 7 on that. Fantastic Voyage by Coolio is the song I designated for that one. White Pony Deftones Double Dry Hopped IPA from Belching Beaver. I'm gonna go a 9 on that because I love West Coast style IPAs. So we're gonna go a 9 on that. It didn't go real crazy as far as like can art and stuff like that, but I think keeping it subtle and simple was really the key on that. And then we just talked about the White Pony album for that beer. Dylan Busby, what's up? Formerly of the podcast Just Be a Dad, and not formally of the podcast Mostly Football. How's it going, sir? How are you today? And has a nice little stand-up thing going. He's definitely got some chops coming along. He's been doing some stand-up. You go over and check out Dylan Busby over on the YouTubes. You can see some of his stand-up stuff. How are you, sir? Cheers. That is so fucking thick. That is like, bro, that is like, don't get me wrong, it tastes delicious, but it is thick in my mouth like it is thick in my mouth like Amanda Bynes's like Amanda Bynes's fucking pictures when she went into the prison or whatever, when she got knocked up. What is that called? Mug shots. Amanda Bynes' mug shots. It's thick. It's thick. Just watch Hard Knocks. Can be a good season. Oh yeah, who did they do Hard Knocks with this year? The Jets? Was it the Jets they did Hard Knocks with, or was it Detroit? I don't remember who they did Hard Knocks with this year. Because the first year they did it with the Cowboys, maybe. Second season they did it with like the fucking Falcons or something that nobody gave a shit about. I don't remember who they did this year with. Dylan Busby. Who is Dylan's team? I don't remember who Dylan's team is. The Colts, maybe? Lions, and they also do it in Arizona this season. There we go. Okay. There we go. See, I thought it was the Lions. I thought it was the Lions. That's all right. Chiefs are out here making moves. They are gonna stomp some ass this year. They're still making trades. I'm pumped. Chiefs are gonna do some damage this year. Ain't nobody ready for that shit. Bruh. Dylan, do you want to be on? You want to be on next week, buddy, or not next week? 2 weeks out. You want to be on? We'll talk some football and stuff like that. If you want to, just hit me up and we'll do it. You can be my guest. That being said, you know what? I meant like almost an hour. I'm kind of cool with being in an hour. I don't want to go too crazy. I was thinking 45 minutes, an hour is plenty. I'm gonna finish this fucking delightful Drecker collab with 450 here. Have a couple more nice big thick ass swigs, thick like Lizzo up in this mouth. Swigs of this beer, and then I'm gonna be done. I'm like legit gonna be done. I'm cool with it. You guys want to come back? And Salute just subbed. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Dylan. If you guys want some more of this fat, fluffy, fucking gorgeous bear of a man, and I mean bear. What's up? What's up, boys? No, I'm just kidding. I can't. If you're looking like hot chocolate, it does. It's thick as shit, dude. is thick as fuck. Like I am just out here drinking Barney jizz. Like it's fucking ridiculous. Tell you what, Barney jizz tastes like a little bit of beer and blueberry and some banana. I'm all about it. If you guys want to see a little bit more of me, a little bit more of my co-hosts, come out and check out my podcast. This podcast, this one, Unlikely Role Models. Unlikely Role Models podcast. It is Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can catch it over here on TikTok on the same damn TikTok station. You know why? Because we don't have that many fucking subs over on our other TikTok. If you get a chance, you like TikTok, go over and like hit us up and just give us a little follow on Unlikely Role Models Pod over on TikTok. Other than that, I mean, I've been the Horny Gnome. This has been Horny Gnome Booze Cruise podcast, and I'm the fuck out of here. We're gonna go over and sub over on Twitch. I got 4 people looking, so we're gonna go over and sub out on Twitch, and then I'm gonna hang around. If you want to go over to Horny Gnome Bar, HZRNEE Gnome Bar, all one word, over on the TikToks. I'm gonna do about another 10 minutes over there or something like that of some after show, and that's it. If you want to see my fat glorious ass again, come back on Thursday. I'm gonna be right here, but it's gonna be under Unlikely Role Models podcast over on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Well, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and then the same TikTok. I love you guys. You've been awesome. I've been awesome. Deuces. All right. Well, looks like you don't have anybody over there. So I'm going to say fuck you to the Tiki Talks.